Hello, hello, hello! Welcome, everyone! So, today, what I want to talk to you about is what you need to know about targeting in order to save your budget. Are you ready? Brilliant! Let's get started. So, what I am going to do today is I'm going to keep it short and sweet, especially when I talk about myself. I don't know about you, but I really don't like it when the presenter goes on and on and on, and you're just sat there going, yeah, okay, whatever, mate. What's in it for me? Please just give me the information. So here it is. My name is Jennifer Zagarias, and I am what they call a strategic growth coach. I've been doing this for about 15 odd years, as in the online marketing game. And before that, I was in the traditional sales and marketing. And there is not many questions that I've not heard or actually answered before. Okay, having said that, let's just dive straight into the rest of the presentation because I tell you it's good. Okay, so before we start, we need to define our audience because if we don't have an audience, then who do we know that is going to actually see our ads? That is not the way it works. So, what we want to do is understand the three major targeting options in advance so we know where that we have to focus. Okay, we have three options, like I said. We have our core audiences. And if you want to know how to target a group of people that is most likely hasn't heard of you yet, okay? So these people haven't heard of you yet, but you have an avatar. You know what your ideal client looks like. We'll talk about this in just a second. But you kind of know what these people look like based on where they live, their demographics, so what age they are, what sex they are, what have you, what interest they have. So do they like online marketing? Do they like travel? And what behaviors they have. So, for example, they buy stuff online. That's always a good one to know, right? And, possibly you know about the connection that they have with your page. We also have custom audiences. If you want to target a group of people that already knows you and knows your business. Okay, so we want to target these people. So what do we do? Oh, goodness, we send or we upload even Facebook a list, whether that's phone numbers or email addresses of the people who have actually interacted with our app or our website or some form of engagement on Facebook. And Facebook says, "Hey, thank you for that." And they start sending out your ad to those people. All right. We also have lookalike audiences. Now, these are people who haven't interacted with your business yet, but they share very similar characteristics with your customers. How do we do this? Well, quite simple. We tell Facebook, look, these are the clients that we've had. And we want to target people who have the same characteristics or look like, hence the name, these people. So please target them. And Facebook, willing to take our money, says, yes, I can do that for you. So that's what a lookalike audience is. Now, here is a couple of rules of thumb because just like in life, Facebook has rules as well. So when in doubt, don't get too specific, please. Facebook ads work really, really well with loose targeting options. Okay? If you have a hunch that your customers are mostly men, but you don't actually have any real data to support this and you're not really sure about it, do not limit your campaign reach to men only. It's not going to work, and you're going to lose out on the demographic, i.e., females. That could also be your clients. You don't, on the other hand, want to get too loose with your targeting either. So, example, you have a lipstick brand and you know that 99% of your clients are women. In that case, you want to limit only to women, don't you? Because any ad spent on men is going to be a waste of money. Okay, here is my it's almost weekend rule, and it's all about no mixing. Now, just like in the bar, what you don't want to do is mix your alcohol because you will get a hangover. It's the same with mixing interest types, and you get a Facebook ad hangover, okay? Because it's just going to waste your money. So don't mix behaviors, custom audiences, or lookalike audiences in the same ad set. I'm going to say that again. In the same ad set. Your ad set will underperform and you won't know which one of your audiences is working and which ones aren't. So a good example is you only have one audience, so a lookalike audience and 1% of purchasers in the US. That's great. A bad example, however, is saying, okay, I want to target my lookalike audience of 1% purchasers in the US, plus the interest, plus display advertising, plus interest, blah, blah, blah. You know where I'm going with this, right? It doesn't work. It's going to give you the Facebook a hangover. Don't do it. Next, I want to tell you how you can define your core audience in the best way. So, we have our existing avatar, and this is a word that keeps popping up, right? Avatar. I'm going to mention it a couple of times during this presentation too. What it is simply a reflection of your ideal client. Yeah, taking a little snapshot, putting it on paper. So, their name, their business, their interest, their behavior, the demographics, the psychographics, all of that. That is the best way to define your core audience. On the other hand, you can use industry reports or competitive data. Yeah, pretty good because that way you also know who's interested in what. Or you can define your core audience by targeting competitors or pages with complementary services or products. It's not ideal, however, in the long run because your audience is bound to be different. So, let me go into a little bit more detail on all of these. So option one, like we said, is the avatar. In business, in marketing especially, everything that is outbound, client bound, targeting bound, message bound is always based on an avatar because you're defining the interests and the demographics. These personas, another name for avatar, have been specifically created for your business to match your product, service, or offer that you're going to promote in your ads, okay? This is perfect. Here is an example of an avatar. So we have a name, we have a picture, we have a business, age, occupation, family. You could even go as far as talking about, his hobbies, his goals, frustrations, like it says here, what kind of house he lives in, what income he has, what the weather is where he lives. Seriously, you can target as far and pinpoint as far as the type of weather someone has. So if you're, having an avatar with a busy lifestyle who's on the road, a lot with a caravan kind of idea, you can target on the weather type because you're not going to go through, piss poor rain all the time, are you? So you can target these people on the weather circumstances even. So this is a perfect looking avatar. Now, on top of that, we want to know what we do in Ad Manager, right? In order to create this. So here we go into Ad Manager, and because Ad Manager changes all the time, these are just very general screenshots. Because, like I said, at a drop of a hat, it changes and it changes and it changes again. But these images will pretty much always be the same, I'm reckoning, because this is just the way that they work. So, under the detailed targeting, you want to explore the interests, behaviors, or demographics, and they have to match the ones of your customer avatar. So, for example, include people who are interested in advertising, for example. This is a perfectly good interest to target people on. Now, what you can also do is you have to make sure that you don't have a too large or too narrow audience, too small or too big. You will get penalized by Facebook. Now, here's a little by the by. If you run ads or campaigns twice in a row, it used to be 3 times, but I believe they've changed it, with too small an audience, meaning that they can't make the money out of you, they can't run their full algorithms on you, you will get penalized, and 9 times out of 10, they will shut down your ad account with no possibility of getting it back. So make sure that your audience size is compatible with your budget. So, for example, 41 million people is going to be way, way too big unless you have a huge budget. So now, with 41 million people, for example, here on the Business Insider, we need to narrow it down further by adding demographics or layering in other audiences. Okay, option number two, how to target people, uh, is to use industry reports for, or competitive data. Now there's a few different options that you can use. Some are free, some are paid, some are free trials. You can use SimilarWeb, Alexa, or industry reports and market research. Brilliant ways to be able to pinpoint who your perfect client is or should be. Now, option number three, if you don't have any other option, or you really want to diversify your traffic or test new audiences, you can target your competitors or brands that offer supplementary products or services to yours. And they have to use your target audience to gather information. But make sure that they are large enough, otherwise, you're throwing away your money here as well. And we don't want that. Facebook seriously has enough money, they don't need yours. As in, if you're going to throw your money at them without them having to work for it. Okay. Now, here is a kicker, guys. Your custom audience largely depends on what it is that you're going to be promoting. Makes sense, okay? So go through your list and go through the possible audiences to target until you find one that makes sense for your offer or service or product that you are promoting. As a rule of thumb, you'll generally want to start by targeting the people that are as close to your ads conversion goal as possible. Excellent. Moving on into how to prepare. Okay, now preparation is all about getting your relevance score done right. And in order to prove the relevance of your targeting, you need to ask yourself a couple of questions. Where are my audience? So for example, if you're local and you can't deliver to other places, don't target, for example, an entire country, because that's just a waste of money. You need to know, who are my customers? We talked about this, didn't we? Your avatar. Are they old? Are they young? Do they have a particular gender? Where do they live? And you want to get specific. If you have better insights into a given type of targeting than Facebook does, that's great. However, Facebook's delivery system is trying to show your ads to the people most likely to get your chosen conversion, no matter how broad your targeting is. So, overly complex targeting choices that restrict the delivery system could, and probably will, hurt your performance. So what you need to do is you need to exclude and narrow strategically your audience a little bit further. All right, here we go. Including additional targeting criteria is really, really helpful. Honestly, if you have a small and not yet select audience. However, do not ignore your ability to exclude as well. Doing so can really help Facebook find the right people a lot faster. So another thing that you could be doing wrong is that you're targeting too narrowly, okay? If this is the case, consider using targeting expansion to improve performance at a lower cost per result for certain campaign objectives. One thing that you need to bear in mind is if you have 2 or 3 campaigns in a row with your targeting too narrow, then there is a very high likelihood of Facebook shutting down your ad account with no way of getting it back. So, do not target too narrow, do not be too broad. All right, doesn't it help to know exactly what you need to do? So, another way to know exactly and in even more detail what to do is by split testing. So, what is it? Let's start with that. It's also called A/B testing. And it lets marketers or people who run ads change the variables to determine which ads work best and then scale. It's also an excellent way to create more specific and more money-making marketing campaigns in the future. And users tend to be divided into several groups, and they are then shown variations of one particular variable. So Facebook testing or A/B or split testing, the best practices. Let's take a look. So I want you to focus on one variable at a time. Conduct multiple split tests for more accurate results, And make sure that you split test to a large audience. On top of that, make sure that the ad sets are varied if you're testing audience placement or delivery even. And you need to increase your budget in order to avoid under delivery, because here we go again. Under delivery means closed down accounts. After A/B testing, determine the winning ad or ad set even by comparing the cost per result or your ad objectives. Brilliant. So, what can you do? What can you split test? All right, there's a couple of options here. Creatives, text, images, and videos, and things like that. Audiences, so, who reacts best. Filter through geography, demographics, psychographics. Delivery optimization is another one. So you can use your campaign budget optimization to let Facebook optimize the budget for ads that works best. You can also split test placements, and you can change where you want your ads to appear. So whether that's on Facebook, on Instagram, Messenger, or the audience network. And there's variations within that as well. And this way you can see what ad placement gets more reaction and engagement where. And product set, of course. So you can compare two product sets to test the waters and assess which set garners more sales. Sweet! How do we do that? Quite simply, we open our Facebook Ads Manager and select a campaign objective. And after naming your campaign, turn on the Create Split Test button. Right there. See? It's right there. Create a split test. Then what we do is select a variable that you want to test. You can choose between creative, delivery optimization, audience, and placement. Simple as that. Next step, customize your audience. This right here is the worst that you could ever have. And, one thing is specific here, which is the Philippines, which tends to be Facebook's go-to audience for some reason. But make sure that you throw in all your targeting options here to have a very slim but select audience. Next, what you do is you select manual placements and tick the preferred boxes. So where do you want to appear? You can test these out. And next, we customize the budget and the schedule. So you can select between daily and lifetime budget and then input the amount you want. Another little by the by, daily budget used to be $5 used to be sufficient. Nowadays, because ads are getting more and more expensive and there's more and more ads being run, if you don't start on a minimum of $10 a day, you're probably not going to get the results that you want. Okay, on to the next. We are now talking about how to save your budget. Who doesn't want to know that? Now, if you're not sure how to play the Facebook ads game, you could lose your investment with no returns. So, understanding the system is going to save you money on your ads and it's going to earn you a healthy ROI. So let's check out some of our ad goals and objectives. Know those and seriously drill down on your fine details. Knowing precisely what you want your ad to accomplish is the first step to saving money. Okay? Have a very, very clear goal. That is the only way that you know that your ad is going to be successful. Facebook ads are structured around your ad's goal, also known as your ad objective. What is an ad objective? Well, you build an audience and nurture relationships online. You sell more products. You remind viewers what attracted them to your brand. You build your sales funnels. You attract return visitors or reach more people near your location or get more subscribers, okay? If you don't know what your ad is meant to do for you, you're almost guaranteed to lose money because you are taking a very, very long shot in the dark. And who wants that? Next, personas. The best place to start is to create a customer persona or avatar. Like we talked about, it's a snapshot of your ideal customer or client put on paper. How old are they? What is their gender? What are their hobbies? What's their average income? By understanding who your customer is, you'll then be able to use and design Facebook ads to demographically target people who match your customer persona. Makes sense, okay? So how do you know how Facebook ads charge? Well, quite simple. First thing to note is the difference between cost per click and an impression. As it sounds, a cost per click means that you pay a fee each time of your clicks on your ad, even if they're just window shopping and have no intent to purchase. An impression means you pay a fee every time your ad appears on Facebook, regardless of whether anyone clicks. And it's all about the auction. On average, with Facebook ads, you'll pay around $5.30 for 1,000 impressions, or about 43 cents per click. This is US. Now, the cost of your cost per click ad is based in part on an auction. The auction considers the price you bid, but it also takes into account your relevance score. Now, often the relevance score beats out to the highest bid because Facebook, wanting to provide the best user experience, deems it a higher quality and therefore more valuable. And you set the total amount you're willing to pay per click, as well as your daily, weekly, or monthly budget caps. Right? Moving on to the relevance score. Now, this is determined by the numerous factors processed in the Facebook algorithm. The network is primarily measuring viewers' interest in you, your brand, and your product. So, to save money on your Facebook ads, make sure to focus on the relevance, timeliness, and the quality of your ad. Now, aside from demographic targeting, your Facebook ad's design determines whether your ad is successful or if it proves to be a waste of money. So think about your design very, very carefully. Think about how you can communicate with your viewers logically and emotionally, demonstrating how your product or service can be a solution to their problem or that it will make their life better in some way. The golden question that I always ask is what's in it for them? Okay? So, the placement of your ad is also critical. Why? You are not confined to posting a standard ad anymore in just the newsfeed. In fact, you can choose to have the ad on the right-hand column, on Messenger, in Instagram, in the Audience Network, or on the mobile newsfeed, and there's more as well. Now, why is this important? Well, one of the reasons why it's important to think about ad placement is the dimension of the ad, and it might not be the same across the board. Some ad formats will cut off a good portion of your ad text or image. It's a good practice, therefore, to use your most influential text in the first 3 sentences of your ad text. Okay, tracking. Tracking your ad results is vital so that you can determine which ads are the most effective, so you can then emulate that in the future as well. Which are underperforming and which should be pulled, which are teetering and can probably just use some adjustments. So you have to know which is doing what. So tracking is vital. All right. Facebook ads can be astronomically expensive if you are unsure how to create an effective ad and show it to the right audience. However, there are lots of ways you can save money on Facebook ads by doing a little bit of research in advance. Understand, though, that creating a quality ad that produces an excellent ROI isn't a quick process. There are tools and strategies you can use to make the running of Facebook ads a lot more cost effective. Excellent! So that was my presentation on the targeting of Facebook and how to make your ads work better. I have a little bonus for you. I wouldn't be me if I didn't give extra value and give you a couple of giveaways. So I am putting not only the presentation notes of this presentation onto this page, but there's also a free giveaway there. And it's all about killer Facebook ad insights. And you can get these killer Facebook ad insights and a presentation and probably a video as well at wowbusinessnow.com/killer ad insights. So make sure you get your free giveaway here, wowbusinessnow.com and killer ad insights. Okay, it has been my absolute pleasure to talk to you today about what it is that you need to know about targeting to save your budgets. I am now opening the floor to questions. Thank you very much.